It's gonna be all major awards from here on out, and now we have Best Actress, and the nominees are Marion Cotillard as Sandra Bia in 2 Days, One Night, Felicity Jones as Jane Wilde Hawking in The Theory of Everything, Julianne Moore as Dr. Alice Howland in Still Alice, Rosamund Pike as Amy Elliott Dunn in Gone Girl, and Reese Witherspoon as Cheryl Strayed in Wild. Now, just like the supporting actor category, I think this list is actually very, very strong. I would have liked to see a couple of Australian actresses on here, namely Sarah Snook from Predestination and Essie Davis from The Babadook, but their movies, I guess, just weren't circulated well enough for the Academy to know them, which is a shame, but the list we have here is good, like I said. So in terms of who I think should have won the Oscar at 5th place, get this, I'm gonna put Julianne Moore, the person who actually won the Oscar. And maybe it's the hype, and maybe it's because she won like every other Best Actress award like everywhere. But when I finally watched Still Alice, I actually just seriously was not blown away by the movie. Although I still will admit that her performance was great. The way she portrays the Alzheimer's is mostly very subdued. She doesn't show it off or try to make it manipulative or anything. It's really just kind of like an honest portrayal of someone with Alzheimer's living everyday life. But then when the Alzheimer's gets worse, it becomes really kind of uncomfortably realistic the way she does it, because she begins to communicate more through just kind of lost stares and like her impaired speech patterns, and it's really almost kind of scary to watch. But the reason why she's at 5th place here is that for me, like she only really turns in like a really special performance during the last 40 minutes of Still Alice. But the first hour of the movie for me, actually like her performance wasn't really that special, honestly. In that she did play Alice well, but like she played Alice like how she plays like every other character she does, which I'm not knocking on Julianne Moore, but for me it just didn't seem like Best Actress a winner material. And I hate that the Academy probably gave her the Oscar more for her career than this this performance alone, which really kind of disappoints me. But at 4th place, I'm going to put Reese Witherspoon. And the really impressive thing about her performance here in Wild is that it's mostly a very physical performance with not that much dialogue, and really just a lot of emotion delivered through just her eyes and through her movements and her gestures. And I think it really proves that that actresses can do physical acting that's just as rigorous and just as impressive as a lot of males. And her performance here really depends on, I think, reacting to the environment and the people around her. Like, she doesn't know. Sometimes she trusts people easily. Sometimes she learns to fear people easily. And it's really cool how she also interacts with the environment, in that the environment can be unpredictable. So just the decisions she has to make as an actress when like just walking up a hill or something, just to really convey that fatigue without overdoing it, is really kind of impressive. And she really manages to convey like an entire history and her inner struggle through her fatigue. And even when during the flashbacks, when you see Cheryl like talking and interacting with more people, she still layers that performance with a lot of nuance, and not just like horniness or whatever. Just she plays Cheryl as like a kind of a resigned person. Now, 3rd place, I'm going with Marion Cotillard. And minor spoiler, I guess, for 2 Days, One Night, but her character here has depression. But what I like so much about how she portrayed Sandra is that she plays Sandra's depression like it's really become a routine part of her life. She never tries to put the spotlight on her when she's having like an episode of depression. Although it's not that she doesn't take the depression seriously, but she really manages to like portray it in a way that it's become like part of how she lives her everyday life. And that's really interesting, I think, to me, and kind of a lot more respectful, I think, to people with depression. And as she goes about this movie trying to talk to her coworkers, asking the same questions, you really see like just this mix of all these different emotions. There's anger, fear, resentment, shame, embarrassment, desperation, irritation, and you see that all building up as she keeps asking these questions. Overall, like what's really impressive is that even with all these emotions coursing through her veins, the character of Sandra still seems like someone you'd see walking down the street. You don't stop and think that's Marion Cotillard, she's a superstar. You really think that she's like a normal human being. And because of the way she's able to portray like the nuance of her emotions, like the happiness she also portrays in the movie is very understated, but because it's understated, it feels a lot more genuine and honest. At second place, I'm going to put Felicity Jones. And she really surprised me, and of course the other characters in this movie, because when I saw her on screen, I thought she was going to be like just like a really innocent, childlike girl, because she does have very kind of innocent looks. But she ended up really crafting such an incredibly strong and emotionally complex character, and went beyond her look. So you really just stopped seeing her as the innocent girl. And what I like is that she never plays Jane Wildhawking as like the victim in this story, but she really plays the character as someone whose emotions are very genuine and very honest. She's never over dramatic when she has to do anything, especially when she cries, which is very easy to overdo. But she manages to keep the crying like really, really realistic. Now she doesn't really have the opportunity to give a very physical performance like her co-star Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking, but she still manages to match his emotions just beat by beat, and somehow she manages to have chemistry with this guy who ends up, getting confined in a wheelchair, being unable to talk, and she still manages to really have that relationship very visible through her interactions. And at first place, I'm going to put Rosamund Pike. And Rosamund Pike totally fooled me in Gone Girl, and I really don't want to spoil her character. For those who still haven't watched Gone Girl, please watch it. But the way she fooled me and fooled the audiences around the world, she did it in such a believable way. I think she didn't, it didn't come out of nowhere for me. It really felt believable. And again, no spoilers, but you will not look at Amy the same way, like in the beginning and the ending of the movie. She really, the way she transforms this character is unbelievable. It's very, very impressive, I think. And again, it's so hard to talk about this character because I don't want to spoil it. But there are questionable aspects of Amy that you begin to learn throughout the movie, but she never plays these questionable aspects, in like an obviously questionable way, if that makes any sense. She's always very controlled and calculated. So you begin to wonder, like, is what she's doing really kind of correct? Do we forgive her for this stuff? And she always keeps Amy in a gray area, so that it really does challenge the audience, and that's I think her best accomplishment. She challenges the audience in that one side of you wants to root for her, because she's so willing to just go over the edge, but at the same time you also really fear this woman, and you don't kind of want her to go over the edge that much. And it's just such a complex character, and she really brought her to life, and I can't imagine anyone else now playing Amy Elliott Dunn. In terms of who I think was going to win the Oscar, of course, I went with Julianne Moore because she had been winning everything. Again, I think it's more of a career award than it is an award for her performance in Still Alice. She was still good, although I really would have wanted to see someone like Rosamund Pike win. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the Best Actress category for this year's Oscars. What do you think about Julianne Moore winning? Who do you think deserved to win? Whatever you thought, whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.